Thousand Oaks, a beautiful city just about 40 miles away from Los Angeles, is rated one of the safest there is in the US. There you can do various things like eat with your friends or watch thrilling movies. When you hear all that, it sounds like an amazing place to live, right?
Not really. It's alright.
It's a good place to raise kids.
Kind of quiet, but it's nice.
It's a lot of trees, very bright.
It's alright. It's kind of a really sheltered community.
There's not really a lot to do.
All the cool, fun stuff to do isn't in Thousand Oaks, so,
See, there's food, movies, about it. So it's,
You can kind of only shop, and Jersey Mike's is probably the best thing in the area.
There's gas stations, so I can put my gas in my car and I can leave and go somewhere where there's more fun things to do.
Well, I guess to some, not so much. In reality, Thousand Oaks is a very nice city, but it can make you feel like you're in, well, a bubble. While it is fun to go to the mall and eat with friends or watch movies, there isn't a lot of activities or adventures to have beside them. But Thousand Oaks is such a small part of the world, there's still plenty to do outside of it. Now, that raises the question, then what? To help us out, we had two friends who've done their fair share of traveling tell us about what it's like.
My name is Trevor. I'm 25. I'm an engineer, and I've been to Ireland. I studied there for 4 months. Then while I was there, I got to travel to Iceland, UK, Scotland, and Hungary, and I've also been to Germany and Sweden. I grew up around here, very, very close, about a mile away from this location in Santa Rosa Valley. And what my friends and I would do for fun while we were kids. We do a lot of things. We'd play video games a lot, but we'd also spend a lot of time outside, just playing football, airsofting, and just kind of running around and getting hurt and into trouble. So once we were able to start driving, we didn't really explore all that far. We would just be able to go and get food together on our own. Maybe go bowling nearby, or maybe go to a Sky High in Camarillo. But for the most part, we would usually just drive to each other's houses and hang out there, as after 9 o'clock when most things were closed. So when I first pretty much started traveling, and when I went to study abroad in Ireland, I was 23, about 23 at that time, 22 or 23. It was a pretty eye-opening experience for me because I only had lived here, and I felt like I was kind of at an age where I was ready to take on something like that and get the most out of it. It was very weird being out on my own and living very far away from everything that I was comfortable and used to. And it was also the most amazing experience of my life. I think one of the positives is, since I was already of age to drink in America, when I went abroad to Europe, I didn't have that necessarily excitement of, I can drink, because a lot of people, when they turn 18 and they study abroad, they spend their first month and a half, as at least what I've experienced, just throwing away their money and just drinking as much as they can, because it's new for them. So I felt like I had the benefit of being able to just kind of see the place a little bit more, and spend more time in the location and travel and see different things instead of doing that different experience that other people had if they were younger. So for me, that was actually kind of a benefit I found. Favorite thing to do was, that's hard to say. In Ireland, just kind of hanging out with my friends I made there and going off to different locations and traveling, and just kind of enjoying ourselves traveling together. When I went to Germany, I went to go visit some of my friends that I made while studying abroad, because I went to Germany this past summer. And so it was just kind of catching back up and seeing the country together was a lot of fun. For me, traveling abroad it's defined who I am, pretty much. I now have that travel bug that you hear other people talking about, and you won't get it until you do it, and you won't understand what people are meaning until you finally take that step out and go somewhere where you're not used to and you're not comfortable to, or comfortable with, and your life becomes different. The things you save for are different. What you want to do instead of going to maybe LA and going to a club is it's now I want to save money. I want to go travel to this country and see this thing. I want to go here next summer and here next winter, and that just becomes what you do.
Well, so my name is Shane Warburton. I am 19 years old. I am a student at Moore Park College right now, and I've been all over the world. When I went abroad, I went abroad with this semester abroad program called Semester at Sea, and it's ran through Colorado State University, where essentially it takes 600 or so students and it puts us all on a pretty decent-sized cruise ship together, and then we go to 10 or more various different countries. We started out in Germany this year, and we went down around to Spain, and then from Spain to Ghana in West Africa, then down to South Africa, and then up to India, and then to Burma, Vietnam, around to China, to Japan, refueled in Hawaii, and then docked in San Diego. But to answer your question, it gave me the travel bug. It was definitely life-changing. It was one of those things where it's like once you finally were able to escape the bubble that is Thousand Oaks, and Southern California, beautiful Southern California for that fact, it was one of those things where it's like, you know, they say like, the world is your oyster, and as cheesy as that sounds, it's very true. When you go to all these different countries and meet all these different people from all over the world every single day and hear their stories and hear what they do for fun, their different experiences, it's one of those things that really builds growth in a person, and it's something that I long for and miss every single day now that I'm back here. When I went to Ghana, I was able to help out at a refugee camp for orphan children who were slaves. They were slaves to fishermen on the Volta, Lake Volta, and the Volta River, and basically they had like over 100 kids there who were orphaned, and it was pretty neat being able to help out there for a couple of days. Cape Town was cool because it was kind of similar to San Diego in a way, but it wasn't at the same time. They have great white shark diving there. They have cheap helicopter rides to just fly around the town. They have all sorts of history there, especially since South Africans, they went through the era of apartheid, Nelson Mandela, getting out of that. India is a very interesting country. It's very, very beautiful. There's greenery everywhere you go, but with a population of about 3 billion people right now, it's a little crowded and it's pretty dirty, and there's some pungent smells in the air. But you can really do anything there, from go to the local markets and converse with the locals who are trying to sell you their wares, or trying to give you kind of a rip-off on what they're selling actually, but you can haggle. That's another thing you can do in other countries. There's never a set price. It's not one of those things where it's like, okay, this is $20 plus tax. It's one of those things where it's like everybody owns what they're selling. I want to give you this for $30, and then you can say like, no, that's only worth $20. I'm going to pay $20, and then they'll fight you a little bit, and then you start to walk away and like, no, I'm not interested anymore, and then they'd say, okay, I'll give it to you for $20. When we went to China, one of the things we did, our group, we just decided, you know what if we go to Beijing and buy a train ticket to the city of Dandong, which is on the border of China and North Korea, because we wanted to see North Korea. And so we took an overnight train ride. It was 17 hours long, the K-27 train from Beijing all the way down to the North Korean border town. And if we'd stayed on the train, if we had slept through our alarms, it would have actually taken us straight to Pyongyang. I mean, naturally, customs would have come on board and kicked us off, but it was kind of neat thinking about that. And we were able to explore Shanghai and, like I said, Beijing, the Chinese capital city. And it's just one of those things where it's like you get out there and you experience the capital of the biggest communist nation on the planet. You go to the border of one of the last true totalitarian regimes on the planet and kind of like look across the river and see what it's like in their country from afar. is just stuff like that that you just wouldn't be able to experience in Thousand Oaks. And there's really nothing to compare it to. When you finally escape the bubble, even just for a little bit, it will leave a lasting impression that will never, ever escape you, and there will be nothing you want more than to get out again when you come back.
To experience the things they did would be life-changing. Getting the chance to see monuments like the Eiffel Tower, or old castles, or even wide mountain ranges would be amazing. But lots of us don't get the opportunity to do what they did. Luckily, we interviewed a couple of friends who know how to have their fun adventures right outside of Thousand Oaks.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Yeah, so I've always been into cars ever since I was a little kid, and when I turned 16, I got my first muscle car. It was a Challenger RT. Always going down to PCH, having some fun, driving the car through the canyons, and yeah, I go down to LA a lot. There's lots of car shows down there. It's just a big culture, you know? You just meet more people from different areas, you know? Like, once you find somebody that has a passion like you about cars, it's like an instant connection, you know? So it doesn't matter if it's up in Santa Barbara, down in LA. If you have a passion for cars, it's an instant connection, you know? We go on a drive down PCH, we go to a car meet, it's just fun, you know?
So outside of Thousand Oaks, I like to go ride my motorcycle up and down PCH, go to the canyons with some friends. Also like to go down to the airport, go take some planes up, take people flying, do aerobatics. Basically just go fly, have fun. What I like about flying is it's just a passion of mine, and I like to do it. It's just one of those things that you're just meant to do, that you know. If it's changed me in a way, it's definitely made me set on my goals on what I want to do, and I'm pursuing that. In the flying community, you meet tons of people. It's all networking basically, and through that I've met people with jets, fighter jets. They've taken me up. I get a bunch of free flights because they just want to go flying. I take them up. So in the aspect of flying, there's so many people you can meet. Along with motorcycles, I've had people fly me out to MotoGP, the races, and got to ride the fastest bikes you can see. And that's basically been the whole world of motorcycles and flying for me.
All that we covered was just a very small percent of what you can do outside of Thousand Oaks. Taking these steps outside and doing these fun, crazy things can change you and help you better discover who you are. Now it's up to you to take that first step.